Oh, okay, we're back up now. I was saying we were having a problem again. Anyways, I can remember getting to my parents' house, and by that time, right as we turned on the TV, the second plane hit the second tower, and all of us can remember just standing there in awe and amazement of what was going on in our country. And we think of all the people that lost their lives, close to 3,000 people in one day. And especially for those of us that have gone through custodial situations, you obviously think of the kids growing up then without a parent. And especially those of us that have gone through parental alienation situations, you immediately think of what of the kids that were in the middle, the parents were in the middle of a custody battle, and one of the parents hadn't seen their kids in quite a while. And you just think that it's a shame that those kids never got a chance to really meet their parents. So, unfortunately, you do need to learn that life has to go on. And so what we have to take from that is, life is precious. And because it's precious, we need to make sure that we all lock arms and try and get some things changed for our kids. So along those lines, I am excited. These next 7 weeks are just going to be an exciting time for everybody in the shared parenting community. We've got a lot of events coming on. For those of you in the Springfield, Illinois area, matter of fact, if you're anywhere within a 3-hour radius of Springfield, Illinois, we've got a great event planned in Springfield on November 5th. That's Steve, Chad, Corey, Jesse, and myself that are putting that one on. It's going to be a pretty big event. So, like I said, if you're anywhere within a 3-hour radius of Springfield, Illinois, put November 5th on your calendar. For more information, make sure you register your email with afesp.com. Matter of fact, at the header of this, I put the link. So all I have to do is click the link and put your name, your email, your city, and your state in there. There's a couple of other demographic type items on there, but the sole goal of that is a call to action to spread the word about different events going on in the country. I know I'm working with the Texas crew right now. They're going to be putting some events on, and so we'll be sharing some information with Benjamin and Dwayne down in Texas for some events that they're going to be putting on. But it's critical. If you want to know about an event going on in your city, we need you to put your email into that database, guys. And so there's, especially if you're in Missouri, Illinois, Michigan, Texas, those 4 states for sure, Kentucky, Alabama, any of those states, we're going to be doing some events in the next 7 to 10 weeks. But if you're not in those states and you say, well, what about my state? Well, I'll tell you what, the more people you get on that database, because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the numbers, and we say, you know what, if there's enough people to justify it, we're coming to that state. I don't care where your state is. I don't care if I even like your state. I don't care if you're up north and it's in the middle of time, in the middle of winter, I'll make it up there. I would prefer in the wintertime to go south and during the summertime to go north, but we'll make some things. In Missouri, we've got a lot of events coming up. I think one of the neatest ones is going to be the Cape Girardeau event on October 12th, but we have events coming up in Cape Girardeau, Springfield, St. Louis. Sometime in the near future, we're going to be doing Kansas City and Columbia, so if you have contacts in those areas. Michigan is going to be one heck of one. I think this is probably going to be the most exciting event of all. October 26th, if you live anywhere in Michigan, if you're in northern Illinois, if you're in northern Indiana, make sure you put Thursday, October 26th on your calendar. We're going to have one rockin' event in Michigan with Jim Runstead that night. So it's critical. Get your name in the database so that you can find out some more information. And then next week, the Million Parent March going on in Washington, D.C., and I know there's several different organizations that are planning different events there, and anytime you put something on of this magnitude, years ago I used to be an event planner, and anytime you have events with more than 500 people or so, there's going to be mix-ups, there's going to be confusions, there's going to be things that go on. You just have to roll with the punches, guys. You can't let it bother you. There's going to be times where maybe on the schedule it said something was going to happen at one time, and it didn't happen. It happened the next day or something. You can't let it bother you. You've got to keep the long-term vision of our ultimate goal of this is to make sure that kids get equal time with both of their fit, willing, and able parents. So don't let little things get you down. I can just promise you something as big as what's going to be happening in Washington, D.C., there's going to be all kinds of hiccups going on. Don't let it get you down. We've got to focus on the mission. There's a couple of websites, and I apologize, I don't know them offhand, but a couple of different websites that have posted schedules of different things going on. I believe I'm speaking in Upper Senate Park on around 1-ish on Monday. I believe I'm speaking in Lower Senate Park on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I think the Monday one's only going to be like 10 or 15 minutes. I think the Tuesday one is going to be an hour-long question and answer and everything on ideas of how to get state legislation passed. I do have several different legislators that have reached out to me that heard that I was coming, and several that I've reached out to. So I do have several appointments that are booked. My main goal is to open the door. We've got some really neat things planned with the Missouri team that's going to start making a national push sometime after the first of the year. So I'm sort of trying to prime the pump. So if you have any contacts in Washington, D.C., if you personally know, now not that you looked online and found out what their email address is. We're looking for personal connections. Do you know them? Have you been to, do they know your name? If you made a phone call, would they know who you were? So if you know any U.S. senators or U.S. representatives, now the House of Representatives will not be in session next week. Now, it's still a good time to meet with their staffs. Matter of fact, it's a great time to meet with their staffs because they're not all busy and hustle and bustle and running around like normal. So it's a great time to meet with their staffs. But while the senators are in session, I'd like to meet with them. So especially if you know personally any U.S. senator and you can get an appointment booked, please, please, please reach out to me. You can either reach out to me on Facebook through the Americans for Equal Shared Parenting Facebook page, send me a private message. You can do an email to info@americansforequalsharedparenting.com. But reach out to me if you personally know a senator and you think that you would be able to get a meeting booked with a U.S. senator. Please contact me as soon as possible. While we're there, I want to try and start opening some doors for some things that we're going to try and do next year. But tell you what, guys, like I said, these next 7 weeks are just going to be an awesome time. Lots of exciting events planned. We're going to be doing a lot of Facebook Lives and a lot of videos at some of these things that we have coming up. So, especially as I said, if you live in Michigan, Illinois, or Missouri, hands down, if you haven't done it yet, click the button at the top of this message where it says, I think it says join, afasp.com, join, or something like that. Make sure you put your name, your email, your city, and your state in there. And then if you have time, there's 4 other demographic type questions. If you're from a surrounding state, put your information in there. And as I said, if you're thinking, well, what about my state? Put your information in there. I know there's a lot of states coming on. New Jersey, South Carolina. And I hate to mention states because I leave people out, which I never mean to. But there's a lot of states. I've got a lot of connections. My godmother was the chairwoman of the Republican Party in South Carolina a few years back. And Senator Bob Inglis actually helped out with my campaign when I ran for U.S. Congress. So still have a lot of contacts in South Carolina, in North Carolina. So I think we will be to North Carolina next year. So if you're in any state at all, put your information in. If there's enough people in a state, and I think I've got some contacts there, we're heading to that state. So other than that, guys, like I said, it's going to be an exciting time these next 7 weeks. Look forward to seeing everybody. And as I said, we'll be doing a lot of Facebook Lives from Washington, D.C. next week. So stay tuned Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to have a great time. So thanks again to everybody, and please make sure you put your email in.